Thanks for joining me this week for my weekly Wednesday wisdom video. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and come on over to Facebook and join our Miracles Attraction community, where I go live every Wednesday, and my partner who founded this community with me, Carly Hardy, goes live every Monday. So this week, Carly spoke about her relationship with technology, and I thought I would springboard off of that and talk about how we are in relationship with literally everything on the planet, in the universe, in the world, all the people, not only all the people, but all the things. We are in relationship with nature. We are in relationship with technology. And on Monday, Carly talked about her struggles with technology. And as I have said many times repeatedly, the things that we see out in the world are always a reflection of our thought system and our beliefs about the world. So if you have a belief that I'm too old to learn new things, or that technology is too tricky or too hard for me, then you are going to encounter struggles. And Carly recounted on Monday how she could not get onto Facebook and go live, and then miraculously later on it suddenly worked for her. And this always happens when we have a shift in perception. This always creates a miracle. So I wanted to share a little bit about the 40-day program for transformation, because there were quite a few questions about that the past week in our community. And I wanted to share my personal experience with the 40-day program and how it completely shifted the relationships in my life. So the 40-day program is a free online program that was created by Lisa Natoli, who is a teacher of A Course in Miracles. And Lisa also co-founded the Teachers of God Foundation together with her husband, Bill Free, many years ago. They no longer run that foundation. They handed it over to whoever is running it. It's a nonprofit. But during the time when she was in the process of doing that, she created the 40-day program for transformation, and that program is still offered to this day for free by the Teachers of God Foundation. And I signed up for this program. I first heard about it in 2014, at the same time that I made the decision to dedicate myself to my spiritual practice. And then Lisa Natoli came on the radar in my world. I had never heard of her before that point, and I heard that she was offering the 40-day program and that it would be starting on January 1st of 2015. So I signed up to do it. At that time, the program was offered as a group thing where you signed up with a bunch of people, and it started on a certain date, and then it lasted 40 days, of course, and it was only offered several times per year. I'm not sure, but I think that now you can sign up for it at any time and do it on your own. But in any case, my experience with it was that I started it on January 1st of 2015, and I had so many miracles during those 40 days. And two of the miracles that I had involved healing the relationship that I had with my son and with my sister. So I only have one sister, and we're only 11 months apart. And for many, many years, our relationship was one of conflict. I always felt unappreciated, unloved, unseen, unacknowledged, and just generally not embraced and welcomed by my sister. And I tried reaching out to her over the years many times. I would always go visit her. I would write to her. Back before the internet and email were invented, I would write letters to her, and I would call. She would never write back. She would never come visit me back. And so I always felt like I was the one who was reaching out, trying to have a connection, and that it was not reciprocated. Well, during the 40-day program, one of the assignments that we were given was to make a list of all of our grievances, all of the people that annoyed us, that we had issues with, that upset us, that aggravated us, that we had grievances with. And my sister was on the list. And I came to see that I had always judged my sister negatively. I had always made judgments about her in my mind, that she should be a certain way. If she really was a good sister, she would behave this way, she would act this way, all based on egoic expectations of giving to get, of coming from a place of lack and a mindset of neediness and wanting things that I didn't have, instead of a place of sharing, a place of loving, a place of right-mindedness. And so I was able during the 40-day program to see this relationship in my mind, how it operated, how I had functioned coming from this mindset, and shift it energetically and release this expectation that things should be a certain way. I decided that I was willing to allow things to be however they were. You know, there's a lesson in A Course in Miracles that says, let all things be exactly as they are. And that's what I did. I came to a place of, I am going to be at peace no matter what. My inner peace is my number one priority, regardless of what is going on outside me, what other people are doing, or how people are treating me. When I made this energetic shift from I am going to retain my peace and I have nothing to offer but love, and by that I don't mean doing anything. I simply mean looking at things with love, thinking about things and people with love, and observing my world from a place of love instead of from a place of judgment. When I made that energetic shift, I saw things change in the outside world. And one of the big things that changed for me was the relationship that I had with my sister. She started reaching out to me. She started texting me. She made plans to come and visit me. After 30 years of wanting this to happen, trying to force this to happen, trying to make it happen, I allowed her to be her and I allowed me to be me. And that was all that it took for things to happen. Now, I want to point out that you cannot game the system. And what I mean by that is you cannot pretend that everything is okay when you still feel resentful or annoyed with somebody and then think that something's going to change, because the universe knows. No matter what you say or how you behave, God knows what's really going on inside your mind. The universe knows how you really feel, and that is what it responds to. It will respond to your energy and your feelings, your emotions, not to whatever you are doing and showing. So this really has to be a heartfelt and genuine shift in your mind. So another thing that happened was with my son. I have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. The girls were always very easy. They were always very loving, very affectionate. We always got along like Mutt and Jeff. But my son and I always butt heads. I tried really hard to be a good mom, to be kind and loving and affectionate to him. But in the back of my mind, I was always judging him. I always wanted him to behave better. I felt like his behavior was a reflection on me as a parent. I wanted him to succeed, to be successful, to make good grades. You know, I had these expectations. And I think because he was the firstborn, we're always harder on the oldest child, right? They're the one that we practice on when we start parenting. And so the girls had it a little bit easier. So with my son, when I did the 40-day program, at that point in time, he was in high school. Or maybe he was in college. I think he was a freshman in college. I think it was the first year that he lived away from home. When I released the grievances that I had with him, not being the way that I had wanted him to be, and I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I actually can remember when I was pregnant with him, envisioning that he would look a certain way when he was born, and when he did not look that way, feeling very disappointed, and we did not bond from the very beginning. So with my daughters, when they were born, I took one look at them and I just felt my heart fill with love. That did not happen with my son instantaneously. There was always this emotional disconnect. Even though I had a lot of positive regard for him as a person, it wasn't this natural motherly love that we all hear about, right? So when he was in college and I did the 40-day program, I released my grievances towards him. I released my desire to have him be a certain way. I let go of this judgment that I had about how things were or how he should be. And suddenly, at that point in my life, my heart did become filled with love for him. So prior to that point, everything was conditional between us. I wanted to give him things as a reward for him acting a certain way, for behaving a certain way, for getting good grades, for whatever. And there was always this sort of limitation on my giving. In other words, I would shop for a gift for him, but it would have to be within a certain budget, or it would have to be for a special occasion. I wasn't able to just give freely for no reason, with no limitations. But suddenly, when I did the 40-day program, my heart filled with this motherly love that a lot of women have when they first lay eyes on their newborn children. And all I could think about was, how can I show him how much I care? What can I do that would be truly helpful? And I got really excited about doing things for him. It was Easter was coming up at that time, and I remember going out and shopping for an Easter basket for him and buying chocolate and buying things to put in the basket, and then I froze the chocolate in the freezer because I was going to mail it to him on campus and I didn't want it to melt. And then I just remember being very excited about doing that. I had never, prior to that point in my life, been so excited about sharing a gift with my son. So there was this huge energetic shift. There was another time later on after that when he was in a bad car accident, and he called me. He wasn't hurt, but the car was destroyed. And he called me from an hour away and said, I'm in this accident, what do I do? And I didn't hesitate. I jumped in my car and I raced an hour away to help him. And all I wanted to do was be there for him. In the past, if something like that had happened, I would have gone to help, but it would have been it would have been with a sense of resentment. I would have had all these thoughts of, he should have been a more careful driver. He should have, he was inconveniencing me. Now my car insurance is going to go up because of his behavior. I would have had all these sort of negative judgments about the situation and about his behavior. And when this happened, none of that was there. It was just, he needs me and I'm able to help. What can I do? Period. Clean and simple. And so that's an example of the transformation of my relationship with my sister, the transformation of my relationship with my son. And those things have not changed to this day. But I wanted to give you one more funny example, following up about Carly's talk on Monday with relationship with technology. And for many years, I had a very bad relationship with my computer printer. There were times when I was trying to print things. At one time in my life I was a coupon queen, so I would print out scads of coupons every day to take to the store and get things for free. And there were many times when my computer printer stopped working for no apparent reason. And I can't tell you the hours out of the day that I often spent Googling solutions, rebooting, plugging things in, unplugging, plugging them back in again, uploading new software. Like, I tried everything, and this would happen repeatedly to me. I would get so annoyed, so aggravated, and so angry with my printer and take it personally, like the printer was trying to do something to me. But when I did the 40-day program, or shortly thereafter, I one day realized that I was holding this grievance toward my computer printer whenever it did not perform in the way that I expected it to perform. And so I gave my printer Ho'oponopono, and I apologized to my printer, and I kissed my printer, and I told it how much I loved it and how much I appreciated the fact that it had done all these print jobs for me in the past successfully and easily. And I was so sorry that I had been rude and I had been unappreciative. And I'm here to tell you, and this is a miracle, that I never had a trouble with my printer again. Never. So what I want to share with all you fine folks is that it's all energy, it's all energetic, and what you put out is what you get back. So you may feel like a victim, you may feel like you are being unfairly treated, or that things are going wrong in your life for no apparent reason. But I'm here to tell you that your mind is the source of everything that happens out there. That's the bad news, but it's also the good news, because it means that you can change it. And all you have to do is be willing to change your mind. Instead of trying to change the world, change your mind about the world. And when you get to the place where you can allow all things to be exactly as they are, without judgment, without resentment, without bitterness, without grievances, you will see that everything will shift and life will become easy. That's when you get into the flow. So I have one more story to share about this releasing of expectations, and that is the story of how I met my husband. This year we are going to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary, but for the 30 years before I met my husband, I had one bad relationship after another. Well, not the whole 30 years. I started dating when I was 15, so let's say 15 years of bad relationships. Boyfriends that I didn't get along with. We fought a lot. We struggled. My heart got broken. Like, just lots of drama. Okay, and I got to a point where I finally surrendered. I saw that I was not doing a good job of meeting the right man for me, of choosing men to date, and I just gave up. I gave up and I surrendered, and I said, let the universe deliver to me what it delivers, and if I never meet the right man, it doesn't matter. I choose to be happy regardless. Whether I get married or stay single, my peace of mind is my number one priority. That is all I care about, and that is not dependent on external relationships. That is dependent on my attitude and my relationship with my source. So I released the need and the expectation to have a romantic partner in my life. And within 6 months, I met my husband, who proposed within weeks, and that was 30 years ago. So that is the story. When we try to force it, we try to make it happen, we have expectations of how others should behave, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment and sadness. That is not going to end well. The way to shift that whole thing is to show appreciation for what we already have in our life, for the good that we already have in our relationships, and to disregard the rest, let it slide by. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that you should allow people to abuse you or to be rude to you. We can have boundaries, but still be kind and polite to one another. So that's my message for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Teresa McGallagher, and I love you. Bye-bye.